Qatar with the friends, with Macron, did also 2 airplanes, 61 tons of medicine. And this is going inside Gaza. But the Red Cross refused to take this medicine to the hostages. I think the hostages need maybe 100 kilo.
This is a Visegrad 24 series about the Israel-Hamas war.
We're here today with Niva and Shai Wenkert. Their son was kidnapped from the Nova Festival on October 7th. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about Omer?
Omer is 22 years old. He's the oldest son of our loved family. He has also a brother named Ran. He's 18 years old. And he has Maya, his small sister that loves him very much. She is 13 years old. Omer is a manager of a restaurant, a big restaurant. He's doing a good job. Everyone miss him a lot at the restaurant. And they told me that now they have 5 people to do his job.
Wow.
Yeah, so you need to understand he's a very handsome, very powerful guy, very intelligent, very wise.
Mm-hmm.
And Omer was kidnapped on the 7th of October. He only went to the Novel Fest. He went there on Kidnapping, his youth friend, and he came there on 5 o'clock a.m. before the sunrise, before the big action of the fest.
So an hour or 2 hours before everything happened.
Yeah, exactly. And 6:30, they started siren. We live in Gedera. It's about 40 kilometers from Gaza Strip. And there was bombing everywhere. We went to the safe room. My wife called Omer, asked him, Omer, where are you? He told her, I'm okay. We are lying down on the ground with our hands above our head. And we are going to the shelter around us. We thought this is okay. We used to rockets once in a while in Israel. This is the safe place to be when there are rockets. He went there inside. We tried to call him. He answered most of the time. He answered, but he was texting with my wife by WhatsApp. And he asked about airplanes. Usually when there are rockets, airplanes are going up and doing kind of an attack on the missiles, but nothing.
Around 7:15, he write, sorry for the language, fuck, mom, there is a shooting guns.
Mm-hmm.
This was the turning point.
Mm-hmm.
This was the turning point because we understand that the shelter is not enough when there is shooting gun. And I asked, who's shooting? I text, who's shooting? Is this IDF? Who are they? I don't know. And I asked him, are you okay, Omer? He said, no. He wrote me, no. And I said, what happened? He said, I'm frightened to death. Mm-hmm. This was the last sentence that he texted to me. And this is when we understand that something very big happened. We saw on TV that there is terrorists coming into Sderot, into Israelis kibbutzim, and it was nightmare until today. This is a long nightmare.
What's the next message of life or anything that you got from anyone?
A friend of mine called me. He told me Omer is alive. I have a video, but it's probably is not in our hands. All my blood in my head went down, cried and shouted for maybe 10 minutes. I don't know how to explain it, but it was devastating. It was horrible. He was brutally kidnapped, and I saw the video on the same Saturday. I saw the video of Omer that is brutally kidnapped on the Hamas SUV, and they are beating him and cursing him and pointing kalach on him, and This is terrible to think it, and only with his underwear and handcuffs. This is frightening. This is really, really frightening.
And your son is just a 22-year-old boy that went to a party with his friends and to a music festival that is about peace and got kidnapped.
At the 7th October, what happened in Israel is the collapse of the humanity. Nothing else. It's not about Palestinian and Israelis. It's not about borders. It's the collapse of the humanity. People killed in their beds. Whole families killed together. Women raped. There is a lot of things that happened that we can't imagine.
Since then, you have been very active in trying to bring him back. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did with the government, with the media?
From the 7th of October, first, I try to call anyone that I know that can help me to go inside, maybe, to take my son. We try to call the other officers from the IDF, but it's not a civilian option to go inside. We called anyone everywhere. We tried to locate his phone call and his mobile. We did everything that we can because there is a chaos. The government was totally shocked. So we as a civilian, we started to strangle ourselves because this is my son. I can't wait for the government now. I need to do an act.
This is nightmare. There is no words to describe these feelings, this situation.
Your son is suffering from a chronic disease. What's your relationship with the Red Cross, what they did or didn't do in the past few months?
Omer, as you said, suffering from colitis. This is a severe disease. Usually he took medicine every day, and his condition was good, health condition was good when he get into Gaza. But colitis attack the body when there is a stress situation. We approach the Red Cross immediately. Only 60 days after this, they asking us to come to a meeting and take some details about Omer, but nothing about his condition. We told them he is suffering from colitis. They told us that they can't took the medicine into Gaza and they can't help us.
60 days. They asked us to come. The day after the meeting, they called the IDF to ask about his medical condition and to ask for his medical case. So this is like a proof for me that they didn't do nothing at all for 60 days. Even though Mariana, the president of the ICRC, she went inside Gaza. She went inside Gaza to see only 2 hospitals of the Palestinians, to see that they have lack of medicine, they are suffering from a bad condition, and for, I think, 2 minutes was broadcasting that she is inside and looking around. And for 2 seconds, she told, yes, need to take the hostages out. That's it. She didn't ask for anyone inside for the condition of the hostages. She didn't try to get medicine to this hospital for the hostages. She didn't do nothing for the hostages. She did only for one side, that is the Palestinian. And I met Mariana. And I asked her, how come this is an organization that's supposed to go both sides, humanitarian, both sides. What I see and what you are telling me, that he went inside Gaza to see only one side. So you don't do your commitment. If they don't let you sign of life of the hostages, medicine to the hostages, don't go inside Gaza. Don't go. You should be both sides. Qatar, with the friends, with Macron, did also 2 airplanes, went from Qatar to El Arish in Egypt with medicine, 61 tons of medicine. And this is going inside Gaza. But the Red Cross refused to take this medicine to the hostages. I think the hostages need maybe 100 kilo. depressing. It's difficult to think about it.
As you said, like the Red Cross was created to be neutral, not to take sides. Obviously, in this conflict, they already took a side. They also, one of the leading people in the organization right now is the former leaders of UNRWA. So it's they taking a side even more during the war. What it reminds me a little bit is that during World War II, during the Holocaust, their neutrality played into the hands of the Nazis, came into Theresienstadt, said that everything looks perfect there. All they need is just a few more cigarettes, and a few days after, these people were murdered. And just to state that 1/3 of the hostages are right now in Gaza are people with chronic diseases that needs treatment. And maybe like they're suffering very much now, maybe even worse than that.
We don't know. We don't know if the medicine is suitable for them after 110 days. Maybe it's getting severe. Maybe we need something else. Maybe we need other medicine. We need to take the hostages out.
Do you know anything about Omer from the hostages that came back? Did they tell you anything?
There was some people with Omer, and we got a sign of life.
We know also that Omer asked for medicine.
He asked, he
and
told that he
he
has
told
a
them
colitis.
that he has colitis, but he didn't get them.
For 50 days, he didn't get any medicine at all.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit of stories of from people that you heard that were with Omer, like how he's experiencing it, what happened to him?
Omer was, there were 6 people captured at the same room. It's a very small room. There is no window. There is no sunlight. There is no air. And they had to sleep on the sand with only plastic bag. They don't have any toilet over there. A quarter of pita and 3 dates, and this is what they are eating every day. We have a minor amount of water to drink.
If they want to clean their tooth, they have to think if the water is enough, because the water is for drinking and for cleaning the tooth together. So they are doing this calculate if it's.
They were calculating the water. They were calculating the food, and they were calculating everything that they don't know if they will get food tomorrow or. This is horrible.
Because most of the day there is no light, or they're most of the day closing their eyes. 110 days, my son didn't saw sunlight. Wow. 110 days, my son didn't take a shower with
running water.
110 days that my son. This is.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the government relationship right now with the hostages headquarters?
The government needs to do an act. And there are some from the government that they say, no, don't release any prisoner of the Palestinian because it will be worse at the next generation. But I want my son now.
I don't care.
I want my son now
I
back
don't
home.
care whatever will happen. I want Omer back at home. Omer is an innocent people. He's a civilian. He brutally kidnapped by animals.
I think it's worse than animal. I think it's worse than animal.
Kidnapped from a fest.
Yeah.
From fest is a young boy that went to a party to have peace, love, and dance.
And now is becoming all this political tool in this big war. Do you think?
I want to correct my wife that she don't care about what will be happened. She care about our son. They need to do an act and to think outside the box.
We have to do this for the next generations. Because if the hostages is not coming back, what will I tell my son and my daughter? What we will say to the other generation in this country? We have to bring them back. We love life, appreciate life. Mm-hmm. Our enemies celebrating death.
Mm-hmm.
Shahid.
Yes, there is a term that called shahid, and women wants their sons mothers want their sons to be Shahid. Shahid is killed people. We also think that most of the Palestinians are victims of the Hamas. Hamas is like ISIS, Daesh.
Yeah. So I want to ask about that because people around the world don't seem to understand how it affects them and how it's connected to their problems in the present and maybe in the future. And even worse than that, you see people around the world ripping off posters of the hostages. How does it make you feel? What do you want to say to these people when you see that?
Don't tell cliches from the river to the sea, and try to understand what it means. Because what happened here, it's not about borders. Again, it's not about the Israeli and Palestinian. No, this is about evil. Ask yourself, this is your values? To kill people, to rape women, to kill children, to kidnap 9 months old baby. This is insane. Please learn the history. Please know what you are protesting about.
Yeah.
It happened in Israel. It can happen in London, in New York, in Tokyo, even their own citizen, people. If they say about the Hamas anything, they kill them.
Your mother was a Holocaust survivor. Did you ever imagine that something like this will happen again when you heard your mother's stories as a kid?
My mother is devastated from this situation. My mother is strong, and she is supporting and helping for our struggle to take Omer, release Omer. She's going to the TV and she's doing broadcasting for German TV and Zoom and Italy and Romania and all over. But this is very difficult for her. This is very difficult. She is 82 years old, and she told me that she is waiting for Omer. This is the only thing that she wants, to see Omer. This is the only thing that she wants now. This is the reason for her to stay strong and to be alive.
Niva and Shai, thank you so much for coming here.